friends, it's Doris Shoshani here. Thank you for joining me. It's an honor to have you with me. Today's video is called Growth Mindset, and we're gonna unpack how having a growth mindset as opposed to a fixed mindset can make all the difference in how you experience your situations. So growth mindset comes from author Carol Dweck, who has a book called Mindset. And in her book, she describes the difference between having a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. So when we have a fixed mindset, and I would kind of like to say that most of us probably have been raised with parents, at least one of them, who's had a fixed mindset, which basically means that we see things as they are. We see either success or failure. When we have failure, it's the end all. Things need to be great for things to be thriving. The minute there's a bump in the road, then we've lost it all. It kind of gives you this catastrophic type of thinking. Or we can adopt a growth mindset where we see failures as information in how we would like to move forward differently next time. And that's so kind. That just feels so compassionate. And it also allows us not to get stuck in our thinking, because we tend to get stuck in our thinking. When things don't go right, we think it's the end all. But if we have a growth mindset, all of a sudden a setback just becomes information. Like, oh, maybe I wouldn't do that way next time. I'll do it this way. And then we can change the way we go about things moving forward to try and create a different outcome. So in growth mindset, there are lots of different factors that Carol Dweck describes in her book. But for the purpose of our video, I'm going to keep it simple. We'll talk about two. So we said, first off, we see failures as information. And when we see failures as information, we don't feel sabotaged by the situation or by the failure. We can actually use that as part of how we're going to move forward next time. So it becomes information in how to create a different outcome in the future. And that's very empowering. So the first thing we want to think about is how we see failure. And we see failure as information. The second point around growth mindset that we want to put focus on is that we expect the ups and downs. We don't expect things to be smooth. We recognize that we are in a world where there are plenty of ups and downs in any kind of process that we're going through. And so we expect them. So when we're thinking about our children, specifically around sleep, we don't expect them to be robots. We don't expect them to be sleeping from start to finish every single day from now forward. Otherwise, we've lost it all. That's not a healthy mindset. That would create a lot of stress, actually. But if we look at it with a growth mindset, then we expect that we're going to have ups and downs. So we expect the holidays, and we expect the one-off where we're on vacation, or we expect the fact that our child's not feeling well or cutting some teeth. And we look at it as so, as opposed to creating a whole story around how everything's been thrown out and nothing's going to work anymore. So adopting a growth mindset can make all the difference in how you show up, because that's what this is really about. It's about how we show up as parents or as caregivers. And when you have a growth mindset, you show up as a source of stability, and you can confidently navigate the ups and downs that you're going through in life with your children, and relay that everything is okay, and that they don't need to be startled by these ups and downs because dad is confident or mom doesn't seem to be fazed by it. And that makes all the difference in how your child perceives what's going on. They don't get freaked out by it because you're not being freaked out by it. So adopting a growth mindset changes the dynamic. It doesn't just change the way you look at things. It actually changes the dynamic because you are showing up with confidence. And when you show up with confidence, your child has a solid entity to connect to. And that really is life-changing. So before we end, I just want to remind you that if your child is still not sleeping through the night, guys, let's get that done. You can hop on my website. There's a free guide. It's called The 3 Main Reasons Why Your Child is Still Not Sleeping Through the Night. You can grab it. It's easy to understand. It should literally take you a few minutes to watch the video and recognize where you want to put your focus so that you can get your child sleeping. And then join my community. Join me on my live Q&As, be part of my webinars so that we can meet face-to-face and we can discuss how things are impacting you, how it's been for you from having a fixed mindset to moving towards a growth mindset, and all the wonderful changes that you experience through that shift. And I would love to see you in my future videos. Thanks, guys.